Hi, today is February 7th, 2017, and this is A Swede Speaks. Today I would like to, talk about the state of crimes in Sweden and freedom of speech and that kind of things. And I would like to start with Mr. Peter Springare, who is a crime investigator at police in Örebro, and he has been a policeman for 47 years. So you would think he knows what he's talking about. A few days ago, he wrote in Swedish on Facebook things that he himself realized were not politically correct. But he wrote that he didn't care. Among the things he wrote were, and I'm quoting a translation, of course. Here we go. This is what I have handled from Monday till Friday this week. Rape, robbery, aggravated assault, rape, assault, and rape. Extortion, blackmail, assault, violence against police, threats to police, drug crime, drugs, crime, felony, attempted murder, rape again, extortion again, and ill treatment. Suspected perpetrators: Ali Muhammad, Mahmoud, Muhammad Ali, again, Christopher. What? Is it true? Yes, a Swedish name snuck in on the edge of a drug crime. Mahmoud Ali, again and again. Countries representing all the crimes this week: Iraq, Turkey, Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, Syria again, Somalia, unknown, Sweden. Half of the perpetrators we cannot be sure because they do not have any valid papers, which in itself usually means that they are lying about their nationality and identity. Now, we are talking just Örebro municipality, and these crimes take up our capacity to investigate 100%. This is what it looks like here and has been like for the past 10 to 15 years. And he then added, and I'm sorry for the French, but he added, I am so fucking tired. And when he got accusations of this being a racist rant, he answered these accusations by adding in a new post, if you cannot discuss the problems of crime among immigrants without being called racist propaganda, things are very bad. He also voiced his support for orderly, controlled immigration, and he added, however, I am very concerned about crime and the intent of immigrant criminals, which strongly overload and is about to overturn our justice system. The problem is that nobody wants to talk about this. End of quote. And what happened then? Well, one thing that happened was that the National Police Commissioner of Sweden, Dan Eliasson, who, as far as I know, never worked as a policeman. He does have a law degree, but he has been, a political... he has had political... not offices. He has been a politruk. Let's say that. He's been a politruk for most of his life, as far as I understand. And anyway, he criticized Mr. Springare's posts, and he said that you should be careful when it comes to ethnicity. Well, sure, of course you should. You should be careful and make sure you have the facts. And from what I can understand, Peter Springare is referring to the facts, to what we know, the things that are not to be discussed in Sweden. Because if we don't discuss it, maybe it goes away by itself. And that hasn't worked out very well for the last decade. What also happened is that there's a Facebook group in Swedish called Stå upp för Peter Springare, which means stand up for Peter Springare. And when I checked a few minutes ago, the group's got 88,894 members, of which I am one of the proud members. And a lot of people sent flowers to Mr. Springare's office in Örebro, to the police in Örebro. And the report said that there were over 60 flowers sent, but that the police of Örebro decided that media wouldn't be allowed to take pictures of it. I mean, it can't really get. You don't need fiction anymore. You just have to look at Sweden. But yeah, because in Sweden you have this code 291, and that is some kind of internal code within the police. And the code means you are not to discuss the ethnicity or the background of the suspects with media. And why not? Why shouldn't you openly discuss who commits crimes and why? And if some countries are overrepresented, or some groups are overrepresented, is it really intelligent to have a large immigration from these countries? I don't think so. And I mean, this guy, Mr. Springare, he is soon going to retire. That probably made it easier for him to speak out. But in this group, I have seen that a few other police officers in different places in Sweden have also opened their mouths and said that this is what they see in their in where they are policemen. They say that you could trust Peter Springare. He knows what he's talking about. It looks like this at our place too. And really, unless we start openly discussing this, nothing can be done against it. And why shouldn't we? Is it because it's racist to say, for instance, that people from Somalia or Syria or Iraq or wherever are overrepresented when it comes to crime or specific kinds of crime? Why would that be racist? A fact is a fact. Shouldn't it be more racist not to discuss it? I mean, isn't that very condescending? Isn't that like saying, but we have to understand these poor Somalis, or these poor Syrians, or these poor Iraqis, or wherever, because they can't help it. Isn't that the message we're sending out then? Isn't that the racism of lower expectations? Isn't that much worse? And doesn't that mean that when we don't discuss it, we'll just assume quietly that when we see someone who looks like a Somali or who looks like an Arab, is probably a criminal, and we should just try to stay away from them? Is that how things are going to be? I think that's how things are in Sweden, and in many other Western nations as well, even though Sweden is the worst example. And freedom of speech is one of the things that I really want to talk about. And freedom of speech, one of the things in freedom of speech must be that you should be allowed to tell the facts, to put the facts on the table and say, this is how it is. And then your opponents can say if it's not. I mean, if you're wrong, and let them prove you're wrong then. And I mean, to give you a personal example, I live in Oslo. Things are better here. They're not perfect, but they're better. But in Sweden, when I grew up, there were 3 no-go zones. And this was in the late 80s, early 90s. And those 3 no-go zones were 3 too many. There shouldn't be 1. There were 3. They were 3 too many. Now there are about 55. I think maybe I said 155 in another video, and I'm sorry about that. I should have checked the numbers. I've checked them now, and they say it's about 55. Last summer, I was in Uppsala for a month, and in one of the areas close to Uppsala, you had riots, and when the firefighters came to put out the fires, because there were fires, they put cars on fire, and even houses started burning, because one guy actually died because of the flames. What did they do then? These rioters, they stood in the way of the firefighters' engines, and they threw stones at them, or rocks, I think. And what did the police in Uppsala do? They sent the dialogue police. Such a stupid thing that I think you can only have it in Sweden. I never heard of it existing in Norway, but maybe I'm wrong. And the dialogue police came to this place called Gottsunda, and they had to send people speaking Arabic, because the rioters didn't understand Swedish. I mean, and this has to be dealt with, because the Swedes are finally trying to get tired of this, and the sooner they deal with this, the better. Because if they keep on sweeping things under the carpet and saying that everything's fine, it's got nothing to do with ethnicity or culture or any such things, it could get really ugly. So I just hope and pray that Sweden will finally start to deal with this in a just and orderly way. And, well, that's my 5 cents for today. And if you like this video, if you like my channel, please like it, please share my videos, talk about it if you like, and if you like to support me, which I encourage you to do, of course, send me $1, send me $10, send me $1 million, whatever you feel like sending me. You can do it through Patreon, and I will include a link in the box under with some other links that could be interesting for this thing. And well, this is a Swede thing. This is a Swede speaks. I think sometimes too, but this is a Swede speaks. Have a nice day.